Hello, welcome. This is a video about Medieval Dynasties management system. I'm going to teach you what it looks like and how to use it and make it less imposing on you for new users coming to this here nice game. This is for version 1.1 and let's get into it. When you pull up your tab button here and go into your management, my character is drunk right now, but you go into your management system right here. You can see the first thing you see right here is all this stuff here. This is kind of loud. We'll go over that later in these tabs later. But this is the information panel right here. And of course your map where you can see where you are. And this is your dynasty reputation. You don't really have to pay much attention to it. Your taxes, you got to keep an eye on your taxes. This goes up every season. Every season is a number. So this is, of course, springtime because there's no taxes yet. At the start of the game, you don't have to pay taxes, but as soon as you start building stuff, the next year you're going to have to start paying taxes, and you're going to want to keep an eye on that so you have enough money to pay your taxes. Kind of annoying, but it's what you got to do. You got to pay your taxes. So this number will go up after each season, and that's the amount. The total is how much you're going to pay at the end. So you can get a good view of what you're going to be paying in your taxes by after your first season, unless you're building more new stuff. And development stage, that's self-explanatory. You can just pretty much ignore that. And this an overview of your population, how much people you have, which doesn't really. You can use it for information if you want. It doesn't really matter. And this is how much workers you have. I don't have very many kids, obviously. Do the math. Population, 3 kids. And these are your buildings. And this is the max you have available at the moment is 65. And I leave 3 open. I recommend you leaving 1 building slot open later on so you can upgrade your buildings without having to destroy something to upgrade it. It needs an extra slot still for some reason. It would be better if it didn't work that way. But this is just a view of your buildings. The ones you actually want to pay attention to are the wood and water and food demands for your people. As you can see, the wood and water demands are the same. The demand part is in their brackets per day. And there's food and water right here. And this is the wood. Everybody in this game needs wood. And this is how much wood they need every day. So let's move on to the demands part right away, because that's going to be the most important thing you're going to want to figure out right away at the start of the game. And that's this tab right here, People's Demands Control. This is what you're going to want to start changing right away when you first start getting people into your town and building it up. Go with wood items first. This is easy. And now it has nice little check boxes here and what you want them to do. So they will consume, as a priority, they will consume firewood first. And then they'll start using up sticks, logs, and planks. You're going to want to turn these things off right away. You don't want them to use sticks and logs and your planks. You know, you're farming this stuff up to build with, and all of a sudden they're using it for firewood, and you're not looking at your inventory. And then you'll call in there, hey, I don't have any sticks to build anything. They're all gone. What happened to all my sticks? I just spent the whole day yesterday picking up sticks to build stuff. Now they're all gone because you used it all in firewood. It's not very effective to use any of these things here for using your fires. As you see, there's the value for them, and look at the sticks value per place. Stick value is only worth 1 wood, while the firewood is worth 5, and the logs are only worth 10. Well, logs are worth 10, so that's not that bad for a log, I guess. But I wouldn't recommend you using it. Firewood is better. And then there's the planks value. But anyways, let's move on. Just click on that. And for water items, you're going to want to click, make sure the buckets of water is what you're going to be using the most. And then water skins. You can leave that on or off, but I just stick with buckets of water and then turn everything else off. You don't want them to start drinking your beer and eating your vegetables, your soups and stuff like that, and all your foods to get water for themselves. No, you'd rather see the water symbol pop up on the screen saying, hey, they're out of water. Go fill your buckets of water up. It's pretty simple, pretty easy. And it'll avoid some headache and losses and there. So make sure you do that. Next is, of course, food. You're going to want to do that too. I don't know. They should have an option to turn everything off. Yeah, disable all. They do. Okay. So yeah. So just go there and hold the X button down. Disable everything. And then pick what you want them to eat. You don't want them to be eating all this awesome stuff. Like if you have a cherry pie you're saving, you don't want that. You don't want your villagers to eat it. You want to sell it and make some money. So you go down to what you want to have them eat. Right now I have my villagers making vegetable soup. It has the most value. It gives them the most experience for the cooking and selling stuff, and so I have them eating that too. And I have lots of flatbread. I'm just selling it. I don't want them to eat that. But you're going to be starting off with a pottage. This is the main staple food. You know, cabbage and meat. This is what you're going to be wanting to feed them the most of at the start of the game. So just remember that and turn that one on if you want them to actually start eating that. But you can just, you know, I have like a lot of cabbages here. You usually just turn on cabbages and meat and roasted meat. So right now they're just eating the roasted meat. So they'll eat that, and then they'll eat roasted meat. This is the priority, so on the list here, they'll eat whatever's up here first. So they eat the best stuff first, and I'm not concerned about my money and them eating my vegetable soup right now and selling it. So I let them eat that. Let them eat good after a while, but usually you're just going to stick on roasted meat and cabbage. Just leave those on, and you know you can let them eat raw meat. I think I might not have that turned on at the bottom here yet. If they're really desperate, they'll eat raw meat at the end. It's something. They've never complained. Never heard a word out of them. They could even eat rot. That's pretty bad, though, if you have them eating rot. That's kind of funny. Okay, let's go on to the next thing. We'll go right beside it here. So that's how you do your priorities on your food control. I recommend you do this right away. Is turn everything off and then turn what you want on so you're not using up extra resources on yourself in this management tab. Next thing to manage is your farm animals. There is not much to really do. It just shows you your farm animals and how old they are and if they're good. Like all my sheep 100%, you can actually go and shear the sheep yourself. And it doesn't affect the outcome of your farm. And those are my horses' ages. And of course you can sell stuff here, right? You click on it and you can sell it. I can sell a sheep for 2K and I can sell a full-grown horse for 5,600. You can sell them in this menu here. And this is how you sell your animals if you want to. Like I have maximum sheep, and if I want them to breed, I have to sell some. So you sell your oldest sheep first, obviously. If they're sheep and rams, that means they're fully grown, and then they'll have different names like piglets for pigs and stuff like that. But I'm not interested in selling them. I'm interested in production right now and maximizing my skills that way. But that is this tab here is just for selling animals and looking at them. It's not really heavy. This one here is the crop management fields. This gives you an overview of what crops you have. And nope, if you hover over it, it doesn't tell you, but you can prioritize it by clicking on it. Your different crops. Like that. Not really important. And this is the taxes per field. As you can see, all my taxes are same. My fields are 100 wide, and that's the taxes I'm paying right now per field. So you can add up the taxes yourself. It would be really handy if they actually put how much taxes you're actually making a day as a thing here, so you can actually predict how much you want to sell off to actually pay for everything. And these guys are working right now. And you want to go and open details, and this one here actually has details. So this one has details too. I should have mentioned that. You can open up details, see your fold. You can go into here, and there's nothing special in here, so it's not really that useful. And this menu right here, manage assignments. You can't even do anything. So that's kind of useless for this one here. But in the crops one here, opening your details is good. You can rename your fields too. So just field 1, field 2. There isn't a customs name you can do in here. But you can access your fields by hitting F, opening details. And this gives you an overview of what they have right now. They're planting it right now. And this is you click on the tabs up here. This is what you're doing. This is what they look like right now. They're growing, and they didn't finish their jobs. And this is what they're supposed to be doing. And if you want to change your plant type, it's right here. You'd go to V, and then you pick your plant. Like these are onions, I think. And then you just click on that, and then you have to hit F to accept it, and then you got your onions, and then you drag and drop and create your field. This is how you manage it, and then you guys will automatically plant the seeds and harvest it for you. Yeah, whatever. And then you can do this to all your fields and manage them, all your fields this way. As you see, this one here is flax. I like this flax for cash crops. They're planting it now. And you can see it's ready. That's how you use your management system to organize your fields. You can change the names like //, so you easily know what you're doing if you don't want to keep track of it mentally yourself and don't want to. These pictures are harder to recognize what you're doing, so you can change it yourself to get this. Like this one is oats and wheat, and the other one there is hard to tell the difference, right? So that's why you can change the names of some of them if you like. The next one is your buildings and everything associated with them and your status. This is the one you're going to be looking at a lot. And of course, this one here is with your people and all of their stats and professions and what they're doing. In this here overview, you get their names. It's not really that important for their names and their ages and their moods. All the basic stats and the professions. This is what you see what they're doing. So you can see what they're doing and all their skills at it. And of course, you can organize it by clicking on like this, professions, listing them alphabetically, and so forth. So you can get all your barn workers are here, and then your cooks, and the farmers. If you want to organize stuff this way, or organize them by their skills at what they are. And this menu, when you click on stuff like this, it doesn't go automatically to the top or the bottom like it should. Something they need to work on. Not really much of a priority, but you can see this is their mining skills. Mining is really pain to level up. Meanwhile, farming is a little bit easier for people to level up on. And diplomacy is, once you have a market stall, diplomacy is very easy to level up with. But this is what you can use to look at the skills and their status and what they're doing. When you want to change stuff, like we'll take a guy off of marketing. So we'll go into here and services. Get the food stall guy, and we will fire him. We'll X remove him. You're fired. So now that he's fired, you get to leave and go back to your menu for it to update. And in your status menu, you don't see nothing changed. But you can go to your professions, and you can see you'll have a worker here who's not happy no more. She doesn't have a job. She just got fired, so her mood's going down, and she's got no profession. And then you can look at the age here, like this guy's a kid. That's why he's not working. So yeah, you check out your guys that are working and not working this way. So everybody's got a job except for this guy. You want this guy to have a job. Then you look at the skills. And there's no way to get rid of that, is there? Anyways, you look at the skills and you see no job. Profession right at the top. When we're going to put her in a job, you can just go F to open details. And you can assign their houses this way too. I'll get to that in a second. But you can go to your workplaces, and then it brings up the menu for your workplaces, and you can see who's in the red are the ones that there's not enough people on. There's no people on for the red symbols. But as you see, the hunting lodge has a person that can put in there, and it's not red. So you got to sit there and still look through this stuff manually yourself. And of course, this guy was on the food stall, so we'll put him back on the food stall and assign a worker that way, and just keep hitting F. So that's how you assign people that way. But the most common way you're going to be doing it is using this menu here, your buildings menu, and going into your buildings that have nobody in it, like your food stall there, and remove them that way. And then when you're looking at your stalls, you see these things have things on them. So the service menu now has this arrow. That means something's wrong. So when you go open up your menu system, you come into here, you say, hey, something's wrong. Take a look at it. Oh, you don't have a worker. That's the worker symbol. So you go into here, find your worker, empty slot. Who do you want to pick? Well, this is diplomacy job. Click your diplomacy. Oh, he's good at it. You can go and work there and make your money. And you assign your workers. That's how you use that to assign your workers. This did not update. You have to actually leave your menu and then come back in, and then it's updated that there's a thing. So we can go into what? Animal husbandry. There's two people there missing. And that's in the stables, and I don't need people in the stables. And we can go over here to extraction, and you can see there's people who don't have jobs right now. And if you go into the well here or any other buildings here, when you're going through it, these people, when you first start, they don't have a priority for their working. They're not working. So you can just click this off right now. This is what this starts with. It starts at 0 for everything. So if there was a well worker, and when you first start it, it would be 0. Look at that. And this is the symbol. So when you first build a building, this is what it's going to look like. You first build your build, it's going to look like this. No people and no job assignment. So when you first build your buildings, you have to come into your building, hit F to open details, and you'll see that you have no worker, and then you have this whole menu over here. So this is the menu you can look over, and this is the production menu. This is what they can do here. Not very much. It's just a well, for an example. And local production, they're not making. There's nobody here. There's no production, and there's the storage area. There's nothing in their storage area. You can check if you left things in a random storage box, you'll be able to find it. And of course, it says F, increase work intensity, decrease work intensity, and then you're navigating your system. And given that, it'd be nice if you could just click and slide it up to max, or get this faster, but you have to just, hold the button and let it go, or just hit the button real fast to make it go up higher. This is something that they should fix and work on, because this is really slow and gets kind of annoying to change all this stuff manually each time, but that's how you do it. And we could take a look at something more complicated. We'll go into the first tab up here. So the first thing in the tab is your houses. This is where you assign your people, and you can see the condition of your houses, and you can see how much the taxes that you pay and their status. They will get damaged in this game. Your houses will get damaged from random events, or every season they lose durability, and then you have to repair them. It'll come up in red here to help you out to see which house is damaged. You can rename your houses. When you click on your houses, you can open up your details, see who's inside. And you can see what they're using in their houses. That's a condition. Its capacity, that's the chest, and of course the taxes. Insulation, 100%, it's maxed, and that insulation lowers the wood usage on the house. It should be 21, right? That's what it would be right now with the added effects of my skills. It should be 21, but with insulation up, it's only 10. So you're going to want to insulate your house nicely, make them nice stone houses, and insulate it so you use less wood. That's less resources used up, and less food and water from their skills. And then you can look at the houses that way and assign them that way. He's got no wife yet, so if you want to put an empty tenant in there, and I can go and ask some woman to join my community, and I find her and say, yeah, well, this guy here, he wants a wife, and you can just do that, and you can assign anybody you want to this house. Now, houses, you can only put a man and a woman in the house. You can't put two men in the house. If I tried to put a man in the house, it would kick this guy out. If you try to put a married woman in the house, it would kick the man out and put the other man in there, and they'd come in as a couple. And if they had a kid, the kid would move in too. So the two houses, the two slots here are for man and wife, and then 2 for the kids. You can't add more to your houses, just so you know. But this is a management one, so we'll just go back into management, and then you can see all the stats on your houses, a lot of houses. And then the next one is extraction. You can look at your shed. When you look at here, you can see the production and stuff. This guy has limestone in this thing. My storage was full. If the storage is full on production, they'll move it into their chest here next, and they won't take it out. You have to go there and get that out manually if I want that. And I don't have any herbalist people. And the mine is pretty basic and simple too. When you're managing it, it's just what you want to mine them with. Let's go to one actually we're going to take more complicated. The woodshed is what you're going to be using at the start. And you're going to want to manage your firewood, so you're getting your firewood properly. See the logs. Each log produces 4 firewood. So as you said, in the logs were producing 10 wood for your people to use if they're burning it, which is you thought was okay, right? One log is worth 10 wood, but one firewood is worth 5 wood each. And one log makes 4 of these. So one log is making 20 wood for your fire. So that's why it's more effective. And this is one of the things you're going to want to manage up right away, is go into here and go to your management thing. Go into your management here and see how much demand you have for wood. And my demand right now, and this demand changes with the seasons, because winter they take more wood. But in the springtime, they need 400 wood. So you take that number, you divide it by 5, because you're going to build firewood. You divide that by 5, and then you can go to your production and then do your guess on how much firewood you actually want to produce. And right now they're producing right here. They're producing 100 a day. So they're producing 100 firewood a day, which is worth 400 and whatever wood extra. just round it off. It's close to 400 I mean 500, sorry. So they're making like 500 value of wood every day to use up. So right now in the springtime where it's pretty warm out, they're making extra wood. So they're making 500, the demand is 400. In the wintertime, that demand will go up to like 600 or something, or 800, who knows. You'll see for yourself, how many people you have and the state of your houses. That's dynamic. And so you can change it dynamically in here for your production. And you need sticks and logs for your wood sheds. And then, and of course in this wood shed here, this guy is just making pure logs for massive building and stuff like that for yourself. The next on the list is hunting. You assign your hunters and their priority and what they're doing. Leather is a good choice. Levels them up nice and fast. And you can see their skill levels. They're 6, 6, and 4. That's their skill levels. The workers, empty slots. You look at the productions and the storage. And they got storage too. And the next course is the farming and the barn workers. And you manage everything the same way. If whatever you want to do, you manage your system the way you want to manage it. For farming, it can be a little bit tricky because if you're going to want to make your automatic animal feed for your animals, you're going to have to make sure your demands don't. You have enough production for your demands, and you don't go into the negatives too much because you need seeds for this, right? You need seeds to grow your stuff, and for your animal feed, you're using up your seeds. So you don't want your animal feed production, for example, to be higher than what you have here for your grains. So right now it's pretty low. I'm only making 4 grain. I only have a profit right now on the production of 4 grain a day, and my fields use 100. But as long as it's a profit and they already have it, they're not taking into it. I can have this much animal feed being produced without ruining my seeds from my planting my crops. And that's how you manage your systems like that, for that get more complicated later on. And that also with your, with anything else you want to manage, that's how you do it. It's just an example. Just make sure your demands don't exceed your production, so you're out of luck on seeds and stuff like that. And then there's nothing worse come springtime is hey, I want to grow my wheat fields, but I have no wheat. My wheat's all gone because it's been used up making flour and making animal feed. Well, animal feed doesn't use wheat, sorry, but making flour. But as for oat and rye, could be all used up. You don't want that to happen. It'd be a pain. And this is your more in-depth view of your folds again. You can take a look at it. And you can do your production, of course, with your animals. Just making stuff like that for simple things like that, and stables. And you can also sell your animals from this menu too, so I don't know why they really have that animals menu when you can just sell everything from here and move in new animals from the other farms you have. And production, stuff like that. We should go over selling stuff. When you get a stall, because you got to actually pick it. Like the clothing stall, you have to change your goods type first. It doesn't start off with any production. So this one here is different. You got to go on V and change your good types to whatever you're going to use. And since this guy's making clothes, and then you do this. And at Diplomacy 10, they're selling over 1,000 worth of stuff a day, as long as I have the production to make these things, and they can sell it, which I do have. So they have a greater amount. So I'm selling 4.5 a day, so I'm probably producing 5 a day on my sewing huts over here. Same with the shoes and stuff like that as extra stuff. Another thing to note on this stuff here, this will I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but I think they sell things at full value. So when you have a durability loss, like if you have your bow and you leave it at 1% durability and you go and you sell it, have a merchant sell it, they'll sell it at full price for you. They kind of rip people off that way, but that's kind of neat. So that's how those work. And the next thing that might be complicated is, of course, the Smithy, which has a lot of different productions on it. And managing this, look at this menu. There's tons of stuff on here. Oh, there's a little extra stuff hiding in the storage. So you have this menu here. You can see all the resources you're using up and everything that's being used. And if you see anything in the red, you know you're losing stuff. And this, so I'm losing logs, I'm losing copper, I'm losing tin, and everything else is in the green. So everything else is in the green, so that's all good. And this is affected, like, you know, how much logs I need and how much copper. So I have to look at my mine to see how much iron am I using and how much copper am I using. And you go to your mine and you check it out and see how much you're actually making off your mines and your miners and what they're doing. And of course, this is what you assign your people to build and stuff like that. And of course, with the blacksmith, it gets kind of complicated with managing it, just because you're going to want to build like everything. Like you're going to want to build axes and hoes and knives and all the tools your workers need, because your workers need your tools and you're going to need to make them. And right now they're just making copper stuff, and because I don't have enough technology in this game to actually make iron tools yet. That takes quite a bit of technology to do, and it's not unlocked. And copper tools is a better production than bronze tools for your workers to make, just so you know. Bronze tools you can make for yourself to sell and use, but for your workers, copper is the best bang for your buck until you get iron unlocked, and you just build everything iron. But that is a detailed look at all the management options in here. And of course, you can manage your storages, but you can't do anything. You can just see what you have. So if you don't want to go see what's in your storage, you can just, you know, use this to see what's all in your storage. And there's no detailed view of what you can see. There's no tabs here. You just have to go alphabetic. There's no extra tabs for the different types of resources you get in the other menus, but you can see your resources are there. And there's the extra coins I got sitting there from just my vendors. And that's the detailed view of that. And you can take a detailed look at the people, but this is pretty self-explanatory. You can take a look at their jobs, and there's different skills that they have at those jobs here. So this is a detailed look at all the things you need to learn about management. And hopefully it's not as difficult as it might seem to be at first glance to actually use this system. You just want to keep an eye out on your food and your water and your wood for short, and then that's how you just, you just go into here and adjust your food and wood to meet your needs. And of course, remember to make sure they're only eating what they actually want. You want them to eat, and drinking what you want them to drink, and fill up your stuff. Okay, that's it on management. If you have any other questions or if I missed something, leave a comment and I'll address it right away. Okay, thanks for watching.